What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this prediction video. For this one, we will be focusing on some action from the English Premier League as Chelsea host Tottenham Hotspur this Thursday on the 2nd of May. The last time Spurs and Chelsea went head to head was on the 6th of November at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London. Spurs were flying high at that point, actually leading the Premier League table, believe it or not. And it looked like things were going to go their way when they opened the scoring in the 6th minute. Kulusevski taking a shot, it getting deflected past Chelsea's goalkeeper, 1-0 to Spurs. But then all of a sudden the wheels just came off for the Lily Whites, and in the 33rd minute, Christian Romero was shown a red card for a clumsy tackle in his own box, and Chelsea were awarded a penalty. Up steps Cole Palmer, and he makes absolutely no mistake. 1-1. Things then got worse for Spurs when in the 55th minute, Destiny Udogie was sent off for a second yellow card after he too, with a rash challenge from behind one of Chelsea's players. Spurs now forced to play the match at their home stadium with just 9 men. And Chelsea made their advantage count in the 75th minute. Nicholas Jackson is played in after Raheem Sterling makes a fantastic run on the right wing, and Jackson makes it 2-1 to Chelsea. And then in the 4th minute of injury time, Nicholas Jackson with a repeat of the first goal. This time it's Conor Gallagher who feeds him from the right wing, and he just slots it past the keeper to make it 3-1 to Chelsea. And at that point it's over and done with, and Spurs know it. But it was further icing on the cake for Chelsea when in the 7th minute of injury time, Nicholas Jackson wrapped up his hat-trick after he rounds Spurs keeper and slots the ball into an empty net. Spurs left scratching their heads, wondering how it all went so wrong. While Chelsea were jubilant, they managed to get 3 points away from the league leaders at the time. But for Spurs, this would start a downward spiral that saw them floundering and going from first spot to being stuck between 5th and 4th. We start off our team analysis with Chelsea. The last 5 fixtures for the Blues have ended in 1 win, 2 draws and 2 losses. Their last match was a 2-2 draw away at Aston Villa. So Chelsea taking a lot of confidence from that result. In their last 5 fixtures, the Blues have scored 10 goals but have conceded 10 as well. So as much as they're getting goal output, they're also shipping them in quite a bit at the back. A player that we have to talk about for Chelsea has got to be Cole Palmer with 23 goals and 13 assists. Cole Palmer is leading the way for Chelsea in terms of goals and assists right now. He is also a second in the Premier League Golden Boot race. I think it's just 1 behind Erling Haaland. And that says a lot when you consider that Haaland and Manchester City are in the title race, while Chelsea find themselves floundering mid-table for most of the season. Next up, I want to talk Thiago Silva with 4 goals. The Brazilian centre-back has announced that he will be leaving Stamford Bridge at the end of the season. And I think it's with good reason. He hasn't really managed to stamp his authority on this Chelsea side. He has brought quite a bit of stability to their backline, but obviously it was just not enough to improve Chelsea's current standing on the Premier League table. And finally, I want to talk Raheem Sterling with 8 goals and 8 assists. The English winger brings so much to this Chelsea side. Pace, trickery, dribbling ability. He's able to get assists, he's able to get goals, he's able to draw fouls from clumsy opposition defenders. He does come into this one on a bit of a doubt after struggling with a back injury, but I think if Raheem Sterling is able to play this match, Chelsea have a very good chance of winning it. Next up, we look at the away side, Tottenham Hotspur. Now, the last 5 fixtures for the Lily Whites have ended in 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses. Their last match being a disappointing 3-2 loss at home in the North London derby against hated rivals Arsenal. In their last 5 fixtures, Spurs have scored 8 goals but conceded 10. So it's already looking quite lopsided for them. Getting goals is just not enough for them because they're shipping even more goals. The first player I want to talk about when it comes to Tottenham has got to be Son Heung-min with 16 goals and 9 assists. I honestly think Son Heung-min might be one of maybe 2 or 3 players at Spurs who've actually been operating decently. Not well, just decently. I think they've become overly reliant on Son, expecting him to play the role of both creative playmaker and goal scorer. And while he can feature in some matches, I think he's really struggled under that pressure. Next up, I want to talk Christian Romero with 5 goals. Romero somehow finds himself in the top 5 goal scorers list for Spurs this season, despite being a centre-back. But I think here, while we can acknowledge that Romero is a threat from set pieces, he did score against Arsenal, capitalizing on a clumsy mistake at the back. But I think he is prone to making mistakes of his own. Romero obviously getting bad challenges in the box, in the reverse fixture here, being sent off, giving away a penalty. I think Romero needs to work on his composure. He's still young, he's got time to do so. But when you are the last line of defense, you need to be a bit more careful. And finally, I want to talk Pedro Porro with 2 goals and 7 assists. Pedro Porro is the right back of choice at Tottenham Hotspur right now. And I think that position alone gives him the freedom and the ability to get assists galore. We've seen that in previous years with players like Kieran Trippier and Kyle Walker, who have managed to flourish at right back when playing at Tottenham Hotspur. And we've already seen that with Pedro Porro as well. He's getting goals, 1 or 2 here, but he's getting assists, and that's more important. I think his numbers would be much higher if he was able to stay clear of injuries this season, but they really have hampered his progress at Tottenham this year. Okay, on to the head-to-head and the S3M2 verdict. Now, the last 5 fixtures between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur have ended in 3 wins for Chelsea, 1 win for Tottenham, and a solitary draw between the two sides. In these last 5 fixtures, Chelsea have scored 9 goals, while Tottenham have scored just 5. When we look at the league table, however, it does tell a bit of a contrasting story. Chelsea find themselves 9th with 48 points, having resigned themselves to the fact that European football next season is out of their reach, while Spurs find themselves 5th with 60 points, floundering about those 5th and 4th spots. But I think Spurs have had to acknowledge this week that 4th place might be a little too far for them, and they may have to just settle for a Europa League spot instead. Chelsea, I think, can take a lot of confidence knowing that it was because of them, because of that 4-1 win at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in November, that Spurs were effectively out of the title race. It wasn't a case of Spurs getting repeatedly bad performances. It was literally just a case of bad performance against Chelsea, bad performance against Wolves, and after that Spurs found themselves stuck in 4th spot. They just couldn't mount their title charge again. That result against Arsenal proves the difference between teams that are fighting for the Premier League right now and teams that are just trying to get the scraps. Spurs obviously having shipped 3 goals against Arsenal at home is not a good sign right now. I think Chelsea, on the other hand, can take a lot of heart knowing they've had to deal with big teams in recent weeks and they've done okay. They've gotten results against Manchester United, they've done admirably against Manchester City, maybe not as well as they would have liked to, but at home so far, Chelsea have been okay. They've struggled on the road in their last 5, and Spurs are the direct opposite. They've been okay at home, obviously that loss against Arsenal really denting their confidence, and they've been quite poor away. So already when we see that this fixture will be played at Stamford Bridge, we have to understand that Chelsea come into this one with an advantage. Obviously, recent head-to-head results also just reinforces the idea that Chelsea come into this one as the stronger team. I think when you look at how Chelsea play, they'll play quick, they'll play counter-attacking football. I think they're going to isolate a player like Christian Romero, looking to get him to fly into rash challenges, perhaps give away free kicks or penalties that they can capitalize on. I think Chelsea right now are actually looking like the better team, both in terms of performances and, strangely enough, on paper as well. I think they have the pace and the dynamic ability to play on the counter-attack to just punish Spurs. Obviously, the red cards played a big role in the previous result. Udogie at left back was red carded and Chelsea took full advantage of that. Their second goal was created by Raheem Sterling on that right wing, and their third goal was created by Conor Gallagher on that right wing as well. The ball cut in, and then there's no centre back to cover Nicholas Jackson in the centre, and he just takes advantage of the freedom and the space. I don't think Chelsea will be getting that freedom and that space, but I think they can create it. I think they have enough players who can just catch Spurs on the counter attack. I don't think Chelsea will be as sloppy in midfield as Arsenal perhaps were, but I do think Chelsea end up winning this one. I think Chelsea score probably 2 goals here. I think maybe Spurs get one if they are lucky. But I think right now, when we just look at the players who are firing on more cylinders right now, who are playing better, who have more form coming into this match, not only have Chelsea been able to get the better of Spurs in their last 5 meetings, but I think just coming into this one as well, I think Tottenham are feeling really, really jaded. They're feeling really, really hard done by that loss against Arsenal. I think also there's a bit of psychological advantage in Chelsea's camp, knowing that after they beat Spurs, it just sort of effectively ended any chance that Spurs had of winning the Premier League. So I think for my final scoreline here, I think I'm going to slot it in here with Chelsea 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.